the Iraqi town of Haditha, a place where the scorching desert sun beat down on homes scarred by conflict. On November 19, 2005, this town became synonymous with a tragedy that would shake the world. 24 Iraqi civilians, unarmed and innocent, were killed by U.S. Marines. This is the story of the Haditha Massacre. Imagine the terror that unfolded on that fateful morning. A Marine convoy on patrol in Haditha was rocked by a powerful explosion. The blast from a well-concealed IED, improvised explosive device, killed one Marine, Lance Corporal Miguel Terrazas, and injured two others. The Marines, their training kicking in, immediately began searching for the attackers. Fear and adrenaline pulsed through their veins. This was war, raw and unforgiving. But what happened next was not a battle against armed insurgents. It was a rampage, a descent into unchecked violence against innocent civilians. The Marines, fueled by grief and rage, stormed nearby homes, their weapons spitting fire. They didn't encounter enemy combatants. Instead, they found terrified families huddled together, seeking safety from the chaos outside. Among them were men, women, and children, their faces etched with fear, their pleas for mercy ignored. News of the killings in Haditha slowly began to filter out, carried on the whispers of survivors and witnesses. The accounts they shared were chilling, painting a picture of brutality that directly contradicted the official narrative. These stories found their way to journalists, human rights organizations, and eventually to the world. The initial reports of a firefight, of Marines defending themselves against enemy attacks, were revealed to be a carefully constructed facade. Time magazine played a pivotal role in exposing the truth. They obtained graphic photographs of the victims, images that told a story the words of the official reports could not erase. The photos showed the gruesome reality of the massacre. Bullet-riddled bodies, including those of women and children, their lifeless eyes staring blankly. The world was forced to confront the horrifying reality of what had transpired in Haditha, a reality that challenged the very core of America's image as a force for good. The weight of evidence and pressure forced the military to act. An investigation was launched, headed by General Michael Hagee. The investigation uncovered a deliberate attempt to cover up the truth. Charges were brought against 8 Marines. The trials exposed the brutal realities of war. The central figure was Staff Sergeant Frank Wuterich. Wuterich faced serious charges, including manslaughter. Section 5. Outrage and Despair. Voices from Iraq and beyond. The Haditha Massacre sent shockwaves through Iraq and the Arab world. The images of the victims, their bodies riddled with bullets, became a rallying cry against the U.S. presence in Iraq. Protests erupted in the streets, fueled by anger and despair. The incident further inflamed anti-American sentiment, making it increasingly difficult for U.S. forces to operate in the country. The families of the victims were left devastated, their lives shattered by the loss of their loved ones. They demanded justice, not just for themselves, but to ensure that such a tragedy would never happen again. Their voices, filled with pain and anger, resonated around the world, reminding everyone of the human cost of war. The massacre also raised serious questions about international law and the rules governing the conduct of soldiers in war zones. Section 6. Scars on the World Stage. Haditha's legacy. The Haditha Massacre left an indelible stain on the reputation of the United States, further eroding its moral standing in the eyes of the world. The incident raised serious questions about the conduct of the U.S. military, its commitment to human rights, and its willingness to hold its own accountable for war crimes. The massacre became a symbol of the excesses of the Iraq War, a stark reminder of the human cost of military intervention. The incident also highlighted the challenges of fighting a war against an insurgency, where the lines between combatants and civilians are often blurred. It exposed the psychological toll that combat takes on soldiers, the desensitization to violence, and the difficulty of making life or death decisions in the heat of the moment. Haditha became a case study in the complexities of modern warfare, a cautionary tale of the unintended consequences of military action. Section 7. The Price of Impunity. A crisis of accountability. Despite the overwhelming evidence and international condemnation, the legal outcomes of the Haditha case were met with mixed reactions. While some Marines faced lesser charges, Staff Sergeant Vuderick, the squad leader, was ultimately convicted only of dereliction of duty. He received a rank reduction and pay cut, but served no prison time. This perceived lack of accountability sparked outrage among many, both in the United States and abroad. Critics argued that the lenient sentences sent a dangerous message, implying that American soldiers were above the law. They argued that the military justice system was flawed, designed to protect its own rather than deliver true justice. The Haditha case became a lightning rod for debate about accountability in the military, raising questions about the balance of power and the pursuit of justice in times of war. Section 8. Echoes in the Desert, Seeking Truth and Reconciliation. In the aftermath of the Haditha Massacre, the U.S. government took steps to address the diplomatic fallout and provide some measure of compensation to the families of the victims. However, true reconciliation remained elusive. The scars of that day run deep, a constant reminder of the human cost of conflict. The families of the victims, still grappling with their loss, continue to seek closure. Their voices a powerful testament to the enduring impact of violence. The Haditha Massacre serves as a stark reminder of the importance of accountability, transparency, and the unwavering pursuit of justice, even in the fog of war. It underscores the need for rigorous training, ethical leadership, and a military culture that values human life above all else. Only through a commitment to these ideals can we hope to prevent such tragedies from recurring. Section 9. A Call to Conscience Preventing Future Tragedies. The Haditha Massacre stands as a chilling reminder of the horrors that can unfold when violence spirals out of control. It is a story that demands to be told, a tragedy that must not be forgotten. Let Haditha be a call to conscience, a reminder that even in the chaos of war, there are lines that must never be crossed.